Hello, welcome everyone. It's
Hey
the
guys.
final day. Yes, welcome Jim. Hello. So, final day of my Summer Splash, Jim. We're following up with a banger because you're here. Someone I've been wanting to do a collab with for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Real quick, Jim's channel is pinned in the comment, the very top comment up above, as you guys can see. I once more pointed up like you guys can see me. You can't. And
Here, I'll
Jim's,
point too.
yeah, it's just a habit. His channel is also in the description of all the videos that have been uploaded for this entire month, along with everyone else that's part of the Summer Splash. So if you haven't, please go give him a subscription. Go ahead and subscribe. I don't know why I said that weird. I'm tired. I've been up since 2 o'clock this morning, by the way. So
Yeah, I think the message I got from you was at like 3:30 a.m. Good morning, Jim, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
yeah, it was.
When does this man sleep?
It was really early. So, well, I was probably at work when I sent you the message this morning, or I was going
Oh,
to
that's
work.
fair. That's fair.
Because it's 4:30 my time, so it's not
1:30 for me.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of it. So, anyways, Jim, before we start kicking off, why don't you tell us a little bit about your channel, and I'm going to try to remember how to play this game.
Okay, so Pewter City Gym is mostly a Let's Play channel. That's the primary content that we do there, but we also do some art stuff, Fakemon related stuff. I have done some general kind of just Pokemon chit chat sort of things as well. Oh man, I'm loving that Diglett hat.
Dude,
That's
the Diglett hat
adorable.
is where it's at. It's
Yeah.
the best hat.
Yeah, but we do mostly Pokemon-related Let's Play stuff. We are doing a Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Let's Play right now, which I'm having a massive amount of fun with, so I hope you guys go and check that out. And yeah, if you have any questions, I have the chat box open. I'll be happy to answer them for you.
Yeah, that's something else is, if you see any, or if you guys have questions, definitely feel free to ask. I ran into a Rattata. I really don't remember how to do this game at all. So it's going to be really interesting. Waking up super early. Saren, I feel like I wake you up every time I send you a message at like 6 o'clock. Maybe I don't, though. So, but yeah, it's pleased to meet you. Thank you. I'm glad to meet everybody here. Digimon Cyber Sleuth is pretty good. Yeah,
Man, I love it.
I've been watching your stuff.
Thank you.
I have never played a Digimon game because I'm a scrub lord.
So the crazy thing about Digimon games is that most of them are very different from one another. I picked this particular one because my channel is mostly Pokemon based, and the battle system and everything in Cyber Sleuth is kind of similar to Pokemon. It's your standard JRPG kind of dealy. So I figured that it was a good like transition sort of a game.
Yeah. Oh my. So I promise I don't suck that much, but I suck enough. I should have saved before I started like throwing these balls. So I'm gonna
It's
save
okay.
now. Oh, the Pidgey wanted to not be nice because I forgot how awkward it is to like throw things.
Yeah, it is super difficult. Yeah, are you playing with motion controls or?
Yeah. Is there another way to play that's not motion controls?
You can literally just click the button instead of swinging the thing, I believe, and then it just kind of fires it out. Makes it a little bit easier because it has a higher connection rate than trying to swing the thing. Yeah.
Controller settings. Surely it's in here, right? Nope, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah, there you go. So which one are you playing with?
So I'm actually playing with the Joy-Con right now
Got you.
because
Yeah,
the
you should.
Switch obviously is like docked in. Maybe it's.
Yeah, I think you can just hit the A button when you're in the catch screen, and it should work.
Let's find out because there's another Pidgey. Oh, let me save. I gotta remember how to save. But yeah, I've already forgot what we were talking about.
We were talking about Digimon Cyber Sleuth.
Yes, Digimon. I've never played it. I've been really enjoying it. You've also been playing this one game that I probably should play at some point in time because it's like known as like one of the best like Pokemon.
Oh, Xenoverse.
Yes. I don't know why. Also, pressing A did not do anything.
Oh, it didn't? Oh
no.
man, my bad.
So I do think that that's a setting somewhere, but I don't remember where
There
it's
we
at.
go.
So
Yeah, it's been months since I played this one with Misty.
So I'm curious. We were talking about this a little bit behind the scenes here. What do you think of Let's Go? Because I actually really like the game. I think it's
Yeah, me too.
very underrated.
Yeah, no, for sure. I had a lot of fun with it. It's not I mean, I wouldn't say it's to the same level of like my favorite games. But it is definitely something that I enjoy a lot. It was like we were talking about, definitely designed to bring in that Pokemon Go demographic, all the people that just picked up Pokemon because of the mobile game, which is why the catch mechanic is so different.
Yeah.
And I think like I was saying, I think it really did that job because I know a couple of people where this was their first console Pokemon game or, handheld Pokemon game, and they have bought the newer releases too. So,
Yeah. Like I said, I enjoyed it. The only complaint I've got is like the catching mechanic, but it's absolutely because of what you were saying. Like this game was the bridge to Pokemon Go. Also, I'll say this, to this day, this game's probably got the best Pokemon following animation.
oh yeah, 100%.
Like,
And the fact that you can ride on some of them too is pretty amazing.
yeah, like, I know, I think you can run on like Starmie and it just kind of floats. I know Snorlax is a funny one because it's just like on Snorlax's stomach. And you're
You're clinging to the front of it, and then if you're playing 2-player with someone else controlling the other Joy-Con, they just grip onto the side, so it's like Snorlax running around with like 2 children just clingy to it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I wish they would kind of bring back some of this like following animation in like main series.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Isn't Starmie a land mount? Probably. I can't remember.
It possibly is. I think it might be, actually, now that I think about it.
I'm pretty sure it is. Did you, because you play this, did you find any shiny Pokemon in your time?
No.
Me either.
So the stupid thing is, I
Very
in the playthrough that I did with Misty, because that's on the channel, no shinies popped up there. But when I played it like my own personal file, I actually was trying to chain for a shiny Rattata. And
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I got it up to like 500 encounters and still no shinies. And then Misty's over there, and she always complains about my shiny luck in Pokemon Go, which is really funny because she actually has more than me. But she would do like chains of 20 or 30 different Mons and get shinies. She got several shinies in the Let's Go game that she played, and I got none. So
can't you like fly with Pokemon 2? Isn't there like a whole thing about that?
Yeah, so flying Pokemon like Charizard, Dragonite, God, trying to think if there's any others, but yeah, they are flying mounts, and
surely Pidgeot's a flying mount too, right?
You would like to think that they would do that, but yeah, it's automatic, so it's not like you're activating an HM or anything like that. You're actually just you let Charizard out of the ball, you're immediately stuck to it.
So I'm gonna be pretty salty if one of these Pidgeys that's flying is gonna be a shiny, because I see a Pidgey. I forgot that was an entire mechanic.
I think at some point they do swoop downwards if you follow them around for long enough.
Let's hope so. Yeah, I've never found a shiny in this. My Pokemon Go luck is okay at times. It's very hit or I either have really good luck or like the worst luck imaginable for Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I had really good luck on the during Go Fest this past weekend.
I didn't realize it was Go Fest, so I didn't play.
Oh man, yeah. You know what? It was kind of one of those things where I didn't realize either until Misty's like on Friday, like, "Oh, hey, did you get your Go Fest ticket?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't. Let me go do that."
Yeah, I was really big in Pokemon Go for a little bit. And then Niantic did a lot of the really dumb trade things.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, remote raid passes are like more expensive and they're restricted now. And it really kind of just killed me from playing it. I'll still play on like community days just because it's really easy shinies. And I do like to go out and walk. And I feel like it is great to get out. The only problem with it is like, specifically me, I live in a very, very small city. And as you know, Pokemon Go in small towns do not do well.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's So I walk to work. It's a 3-mile walk there and back every day, and I mostly play then. But there's like stops on my route. There's a couple of gyms. That's sort of it. So I do still play in that regard, but I haven't really bought the remote raid passes since they hiked up the price, because like at a dollar, they worked out to be like $1 each under the old pricing system. That was fine. Like I can justify $1 to get a legendary or whatever. Now it's like almost twice that, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know, man. Too much. It's too much.
Yeah, it was convenient. And now I can't remember. I know Not talked about it at one point in time with me of like how much it was, but they definitely have like super went up. Also, am I still in the catching combo? I think I am.
Yeah, I believe so. I haven't seen you knock off.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens here. Yeah, 8. So I know the catch combos like is 31 is all you really need for it. And I know that like there was some data mine with this game, and it's like half the shinies, like the shiny hunting methods were like wrong in this game as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So used to, it was like people thought that once you hit 31, I'm pretty sure it's 31. Like every Pokemon that spawns for that species is shiny, but it's only like that one Pokemon that actually spawns, like the next one. So you would have to just keep catching constantly, unless it was like a rare spawn where only one of them spawned anyways. So
yeah.
The most amount of shinies I've found in a casual playthrough of Scarlet and Violet. So my casual playthrough of Scarlet and Violet, I found 0 shinies. My stream playthrough, I found like 3 or 4.
I love those shorts that you put up with the various shinies. Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
They are. I was telling Not this earlier. I counted how many shinies I needed in Scarlet and Violet to have a full shiny living dex for just Scarlet and Violet, and I'm like 205. So I definitely want to try to do that next year.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Don't run, Pidgey. Don't run.
Oh, no.
We got it. I think you can, like... there's, like, a way you can tell if it's about to run, too. Like, it'll do, like, an animation with a circle, and if you run beforehand, it won't count. So, if I see something like that, I might. I had to watch... The reason I know this is, for anyone that wonders, I'm not just, like, a super big nerd, but it's... I looked up a video to see how to shiny hunt, because I honestly could not remember how it was. So...
That's fair.
Oh, yeah, it's super great. So, I guess talking about Scarlet and Violet, you excited for the DLC? It's like next week.
Oh, gosh, yes, yeah. I'm super excited for that. The fact that they brought back some of my favorite Pokemon in the DLC. Very excited to be able to play with the Sentret again. Yeah. Channel mascot's a furret, so...
Yeah, I was going to get into your favorite Pokemon. If you wanted to pivot to that, you're more than welcome to talk about why Furret is very adorable.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, it is to me, it is just, it's such a perfect Pokemon design, right? You can tell roughly what sort of animal it's supposed to be, but you look at it and you know that it's a Pokemon. There's no ambiguity about it. You look at it, you're like, that's a Pokemon. It's based on, some sort of mustelid. It's perfect. The main thing, so my wife and I met on a Pokemon message board back in the year 2000, and her avatar was a Nidorina, mine was a Furret. And so, we always sort of pivot back to those two Pokemon as our favorite. Like, we had a Furret and a Nidorina on our wedding cake as our bride and groom. So, yeah.
Very nice.
That's it's been my favorite Pokemon since, like, the year 2000.
Yeah, mine's just Bulbasaur because it was the first Pokemon I picked. So, I guess my story is cool too.
Got you. Hey, man, Charmander's my favorite starter because that was the first one I picked in blue version. So,
oh no,
yes, I am basic.
Jim, sorry, we can't hang out anymore. My channel is anti-Charizard. I make sure to have a point of being like, anytime Charizard gets mentioned. So, but to be fair, I mean, I guess like. Most people probably pick Charmander as their very first Pokemon. I was just a really dumb kid, so I didn't really understand how some of the stuff works, so I just picked Bulbasaur and got with there. So. Got you. Yeah, no, I get it, man. I get it. Look, I know that Charizard gets... I mean, talking about community days, we've got another Charmander community day. Oh, wow, you got a wild Dragonite up there. Yeah, 2 battles. That's a rare spawn.
That's new. I've never seen that on Route 1. That's weird. I'm not sure what to make of that.
It's there. Are we ready for Mewtwo raids? Do you do the Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet raids?
I've done a couple. I did the ones for Walking Wake and Iron Leaves. Those are the only 2 that I've done. I haven't done any of the other ones though.
are you going to do the Mewtwo raid that's coming out?
Yeah, I'll do the Mewtwo raid. I only really do them when they're like, you know, my some of my favorite Pokemon. I mean, we were talking about scheduling as well. I have so little time, so it's just kind of like making time to do them is difficult. But yeah, I'll probably do the Mewtwo raid. I don't want to say definitely, but I'll probably do it.
I'm definitely gonna do it. I've done all the raids so far that have came out.
Nice.
I found them very pleasantly challenging. This Rattata just spooked me.
Oh no!
Get out of here.
That.
I did get my own Mew. Did you get your Mew from Mystery Gift?
Yeah, I got my Mew. I got the I think it was a Dark Terra type Charizard.
You lucky son of a gun! I really wanted a Dark type Mew, like Terra type, because I was like, oh, Dark Terra type, because there's a rumor that Mew's going to be like really good for this raid. Like he's gonna get some kind of buff, and
I was talking about the Charizard. Sorry.
Oh, I was about to say.
Yeah, it's a Terra type Charizard.
Whew.
Not the Mew. I gotta check what Terra type my Mew even is. I grabbed it and then I was just doing some recording to get backgrounds for Fakemon videos, so I didn't even look at it actually.
Mine's normal top, so not good. For it's very plain.
Yeah.
How do you do 7-star raids? In Scarlet and Violet, you have to beat the game, beat the post game as well.
Yeah, you have to do all the way through, I believe.
And you also have to do 5 6-star raids.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, and there is a requirement of that sort.
I would look at Cerebi to see the actual, like the full-on requirement, but something like that. Ghost type neutral. The reason I would rather have Dark top is just because I won't be getting hit with psychic moves. So, but that Mewtwo's probably gonna have like Focus Blast and gonna hit all of it. My mom plays Pokemon Go.
Your mom is cool.
Yeah, I was about to say my parents would never play Pokemon Go, even though my mom is like she runs like marathons and stuff like all the time. Not once would she ever consider playing any type of Pokemon game. Well, I say that. The only time she's ever played a Pokemon game is, I talked about this when I was playing with Leaf Green Gaming, is back on the Nintendo 64 Pokemon Puzzle League.
Yeah.
We played that, if you want to count that, which is just, you know, Bejeweled type game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to do that to get into those raids. They won't show up, and I don't think they show up online either for you.
Yeah, when you go to search for a raid lobby, they're just filtered out if you haven't completed those prerequisites. So, sorry.
Yeah. That's so you got to get on it. Let me boot it up. Time to start.
Get that grind.
Yep. Oh, my Pidgey learned Mirror Move. What's going to be great is when these Pidgeys evolve into Pidgeotto from me catching all of them, they're all going to evolve at the same time.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So, you know.
I actually really like the evolution screen from this game. The colors are, my monkey brain gets activated by pretty colors, so I'm just sitting there like, oh, yeah, that's awesome.
This game is beautiful, too, just in general, like the environment and stuff. Like,
yeah,
you know, the trees look nice, the grass is nice, the Dragonite just chilling up there. Oh, that was a Charizard.
That's a Charizard. Oh, hey, it heard me talking about how great it is, and I would attempt to catch it
if I wouldn't break my catch combo, just so I could fly up there. But you know, I guess I'm not doing that. I have 2 maxed out Mons, the Mew and Ceruledge. It's very easy to max out Mons in these newer games. With candies, which I love. I love the candies. I hate grinding with a passion. So.
I don't know. There's something weirdly zen about it for me, where I'll just sit down and it's like, yeah, I have a 2-hour block of time. All I'm doing is random battles to, level up, and I'm fine with it, honestly. I don't mind it. But yeah, if say for example, I want to trade something, or I have a particular battle that I want to do where I need a particular Pokemon at a certain level, it's like, yeah, okay, candies for sure.
Yeah, if what I do in your situation, if I have like a 2-hour block, shiny hunt. Especially in Scarlet and Violet, because it fits perfectly, because you're like 30 minutes. Well, I guess technically it's 31 minutes because of the frame rate. Because the way that game calculates time is by frames, and because the game runs really bad, you get an extra minute or so in the.
Are you kidding me? I had no idea.
Yeah, it runs by frames. So if you go to the lake, for instance, you'll have longer on your timer. So, as someone who's done, I don't know, 200-something shiny hunts in Scarlet and Violet.
Oh, wow.
How do I do this school fight? I don't know which school fight you're supposed to be doing. There should be something.
Be a little more specific. Hopefully we can help you out.
Normally there's like a way marker or something on the map for it. But yeah, so what do you think of Scarlet and Violet? Did you like the game?
I did. Now, I'm a fairly relentlessly positive person, right? I acknowledge there's definitely flaws. 100% there are flaws, but I still had fun with it. And to me, at the end of the day, that's what I'm playing a video game for. So I'm okay with it. But yeah. I will freely admit that there are some ridiculous corners cut to get it out on time.
Yeah, I really like the game as well. I think story-wise, it's probably my favorite Pokemon game.
Oh yeah, the story is fantastic.
And if you don't feel bad for Arven, then
oh yeah, for 100%. Nemona is still my favorite rival. But man, I out of all of them, I would probably like hang out with Arven the most.
Yeah, I like Nemona. Actually, I liked all of them. All the rivals in that game were really good. I guess Penny's kind of on the lesser side, but I feel like Penny didn't get as much time to shine.
I didn't really care for Penny that much.
Yeah.
Well, so she hacks your phone and faces like no consequences for this, and I'm just kind of like, "Hello, cybercrimes unit."
Yeah, yeah. I hacked your phone. Also, I hacked all these league points as well.
Yeah,
a bunch of other stuff. Do you get in trouble? No, actually, we're gonna open you up a job over here, and you know.
Yeah, it's like a Catch Me If You Can kind of a situation. She's Leonardo DiCaprio, we're Tom Hanks, except we're sitting off in the corner like, well, she did like, kind of technically damage my personal property. I'm.
Yeah, it's whatever. I feel like hers is definitely the weaker part of it. And
yeah.
I think a lot of it could be done if it wasn't like the professor that, like, if he wasn't being Mr. Clav himself. And I feel like if the roles were kind of reversed, I think Penny's would be a little better, but
yeah, no, that's fair.
Watching the titles, the game's got some moments. Like I said, when you're over there with Arven and like he's like, "Hey, I'm actually not a jerk." Because let me ask you, when you first saw Arven, did you think he was going to be a jerk? Like
I thought he was going to be the mean rival. Yeah, I literally even said in my playthrough, like, "Oh, cool, this is the mean rival. I've missed having one of those."
Yeah, and then he's like,
yeah, he's the biggest soft boy, and I love him, but I do kind of miss the days where the rival was just out there to mess you up.
Yeah, we don't have those anymore. How do I unlock 7-star raids? Do like 10 6-star raids, and it will show up. You'll get a call from the professor letting you know. I can't remember the exact number, but the professor lets you know for sure. Also, we've got
but you do have to do a lot of the 6-star raids to get into that 7. Well. Yeah.
Not only that's the win.
Thing. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I like when Penny hacks your phone just to make a phone call to you. Yeah. Like I said, I'm excited. Which one of the DLCs are you more excited for, the first or second one?
Man.
I'm asking you hard questions, I know.
Yeah, that's a difficult one, actually. I'm excited for both. I guess probably the second one, with the all the additional biomes that you can go to. I think that looks really cool.
I think I'm excited for both of them. I think I'm more excited for the first one, but at the same time, I'm really excited for the second one as well, because I really want to go back down to Area Zero. I think Area Zero is a very good place.
Oh yeah, it's cool. I love the graphical effects that they have on those crystals and stuff. Like, again, I'm so entranced by like shiny stuff, bright colors. It's just like I could sit there and hang out for a while,
Yeah. Didn't you say I needed to do a school thing? The only school thing is beat the school thing. Beat this the game. I don't think you have to do anything with the school, other than there's another Dragonite up there. Other than the professor calling you. Or something.
Yeah, you gotta beat the game, which definitely you have to do the school tourney. I forget exactly what they call it, the Champions Cup.
Yeah.
So you have to do that. You have to have beaten Nemona. Obviously, the league and everything like that as well. I'm trying to remember.
It's been so long since I've done that.
Yeah, exactly.
Pidgey.
Oh, let's go. Let's
Pidgey.
go.
Hey, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm hunting Pidgey, which is arguably probably like the worst flying type in existence, but I love it.
Wait a second, you're hunting Pidgey?
Yeah, it's hard to believe, right?
Yeah, I hadn't noticed.
You thought it was a hoot probably. Oh, yeah. Also, I was going to tell you this. Ferret, the Pokemon, every time I see like a ferret, in real life, my brain does not comprehend the word ferret, and it's always furret.
Ferret.
Yeah,
Yeah,
always.
same here.
Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, ferret. I mean, wait, no, that's not actually what this is.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing for me. Yeah, my brain defaults to Pokemon knowledge immediately, which is kind of funny. So they did.
You do
I'm
need to
probably
rematch
gonna
the
get.
gym leaders. That's the post game.
Yep, that's the post game.
I do remember that. Ferret.
So
walking
the I'm gonna get some details wrong on this, but there was a study done in I think it was England, and it was like 75% or something street, are better at identifying individual Pokemon than they are like wildlife from around their neighborhood. So
that tracks because I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
My brain's got so much useless Pokemon knowledge. It's like, hey, I need you to remember this. I'm like, oh, okay, let me write it down. And then it's like, hey, here's a 1,000 Pokemon. Name them all. I'm like, all right. Which, of course, I would probably... Let's go to Kanto or Johto. Let's go Pikachu and Eevee. So, but yeah. Did you know that Ferret is a ground type in one of the episodes in the anime? I'm obviously joking. No.
Oh, that's interesting.
Did you know that one of the games I'm playing coming up, because I've already talked about this at this point, it's coming out next week. It's Pokemon Coliseum. Which, have you ever played Pokemon Coliseum, Jim? Did you ever?
No. Wait, Pokemon Coliseum.
It's one with Shadow Pokemon.
Yes, I did. I played it briefly. I didn't get to complete it or anything like that. But yeah, I did. I played a little bit of it, not a lot. And it was so long ago, I barely remember, to be honest, which is why I had to take a second. Like, wait a second, Pokemon Coliseum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually never played Pokemon Coliseum, so I'm uploading it as my first time I'm playing it with Death. Except I'm playing a modded version. It's called Pokemon Grand Coliseum, and they've changed some of the toppings. And specifically, Ferret, it shows up in one of the episodes, and it's actually a normal ground type, and it carries hard for a fat minute. So it's I
could see it being part ground type just because like a lot of the dex entries mentioned that it digs really narrow burrows.
Yeah.
So I could see that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll say that. But yeah, I don't know where that ball goes. I remember that being a very big problem of like balls going like different areas.
Oh yeah,
like
they go wild.
Yeah. I remember having really big issues with the legendaries on that, catching them. I remember getting really frustrated, and I don't get frustrated that often. I think it was Zapdos. I would like throw the ball straight, and it would go like all the way to the right, and I'm like, I hate this so much.
Yeah. No, we had the exact same thing in our most in our playthrough for the channel. It's just sometimes the ball just does go wild. You don't know why, and especially if you're trying to coordinate with two people as well, because that does double your catch chance. But the balls have to hit at exactly the same time. Yeah. So yeah, it's nuts.
I remember like how the Switch has the like the thing you can actually put the Joy-Cons in, like essentially the Joy-Con full controller.
Mm-hmm.
I remember doing 2-player mode with that, like putting them in, so that way you can just flick that one piece.
Oh, okay.
So
that's like a next level strat right there. I never would have thought to do that.
That's the Giga Brain strat. That I
did
it, and I'm like, all right, I'm good with this.
Brain.
So,
yeah,
man. What's your thoughts on the new like legendaries, the Okie Dokie, Monkey Dory, Pheasantipity? Do you like them?
They are not my type of legendary. Let me just put it that way. I have respect for the designs. I think that there's going to be a lot of people out there who just adore them. They aren't where my brain goes when I think legendary, and that's on me. But yeah, I'm not like super excited about them. I'm more excited about being able to catch like the older Pokemon.
Yeah,
more than the new legendaries, to be honest with you.
Same. Ogerpon kind of interests me, just because I'm really interested to see kind of what it's about. Also, you cannot use a Pro Controller in this game. It will actually not let you. I tried.
It does require the motion controls.
So, I tried. But, yeah, the Hero Trio, I guess is what they're called or referred to.
Yeah.
Okidogi in them. Yeah, I'm not super sold on them. Like, out of all of them, Pheasantipity is the only one that's like, oh, yeah, this is the one that's like, I like it the most. Terapagos.
Terrapagos. Yeah, that's actually what I was about to say. I do like Terrapagos, and I'm interested to see how it ties into the story. I think it shows up in the new anime series as well, if I remember correctly.
It does. I've actually tried watching the anime. I got to like 3 episodes, and I am enjoying it. I haven't watched it. The only thing is like the animation's kind of a little wonky at times.
Really?
But
Okay.
it's not as like the battles have kind of been a little lame. But it's
That's
really
a bummer.
But it is nice to like have a character that's like got a personality, and well, I shouldn't say personality because Ash did have a personality, but like
Oh yeah.
they actually have like character traits, right? And like there's actually a story going on that's like really, in my opinion, really good.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard, and I do want to check it out. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, that was the thing, is like I'm gonna try to pick this up and try to watch it. And I've watched 3 episodes, maybe 4 at this point. And it's been a while since I've watched even those episodes, so you know.
Where are you watching them?
A website. I'll have to send you a message later. That's totally not anything that would get me in trouble.
Sure thing. It's a 100% legit.
Yeah, one of those types of websites. Kel, I have no idea what's happening. That's normal for the stream. Power Twin, hello, welcome. Do you mean the Swords of Justice? No, I do not mean the Swords of Justice. That is a different hero. Even though
Hero
the Swords
trio.
of Justice are getting future forms. Do you like the past and present forms?
I am not the biggest fan of the future forms, the iron paradoxes.
Yeah.
They just make me think of that old Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon where like he would throw the animals into the roboticizer and they'd come out looking basically the same but like robots.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I think of when I see them. I would love it because I normally really enjoy robotic designs, and I think if they had taken some of them in different directions or gone for like different types of robots, but they're also homogenous and look kind of the same. So I'm not the biggest fan, and I'm really bummed out about it.
I agree. There's like 2 that I actually like. I like Iron Moth, which is just Future Volcarona. And Iron Valiant, which is the Glade Gardevoir like mix.
That one is probably my favorite out of all of them because they did something really original with it, where they took the 2 gendered forms and kind of smooshed them into the same thing, which makes sense because it's a robot. And I do like Iron Bundle as well, because like it's a toy based on a Pokemon that's based on Santa, so it kind of like ties back together thematically. I like that. I just kind of wish the other ones had gone. Like if you sort of think about like say Wall-E, you have Eve and you have Wall-E. They're both robots, but they look so different from one another. You could have done so many things with the Future Paradox forms, and I just feel like it's wasted potential that they didn't.
Yeah, one thing that really bums me out about the paradox, like the future ones specifically, I do like the future ones more than the past ones.
Really?
Yeah, I'm more of the future guy. But at the same time, the shinies for all the future ones are the worst thing imaginable because they are all literally copy paste. Like, hey, here they are, all the exact same coat of paint type deal, all silver and.
Right.
Nothing really changes, and it gets boring. Like, I don't know, but it is what it is. It's not like we're, Pokemon's known to having like all great shinies. I have to go make spaghetti. Catch you later. Later, Saren. Make sure to save me some spaghetti. I love me some spaghetti.
Enjoy your spaghetti. Oh yeah, I love cooking spaghetti.
Oh man, look at you cooking. I can't.
Oh, I love to cook.
I can't cook.
No, you haven't yet, but you can do it. I promise you. It just takes practice.
Look, I've told many horror stories.
What is that noise?
Many horror cooking stories.
Got you.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've definitely gotten better about cooking some stuff. But I've got an air fryer, and that thing has been like revolutionary. So there is that going for me.
Yeah, I tend to be a little anti-gadget in my kitchen. I don't want the air fryer. I don't want the mandolin, any of that kind of stuff.
What a mandolin is.
So mandolin is like a device where you can sort of latch your vegetables or whatever you're cutting to it, and it has different blades, different settings. You can make, say, for example, like French fries. You could just do on a mandolin. Put your potato on there, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The French fries fall out. For me, I like to level up my knife skills, so I actually, cut the potato with a knife.
Well,
Old school.
That explains why I haven't heard that, because you said the word vegetable, and my brain goes, "Yeah, that's gross."
Oh, that's right. We've talked about that. You're not a big veggie guy.
I'm like, I'm a child on the inside, I guess. So
You'd starve at my house, unfortunately.
Probably. So I mean, it is what it is with veggies, I guess.
Got you. No, that's fine, man. Takes all kinds.
It does, and this Rattata is attacking me so much. I need to actually get a shiny Rattata, but
I love them. They look like they're wearing like little yellow pajamas. It's adorable.
Do you like regular Rattata or Alolan Rattata more?
I like regular Rattata more. I think it's the mustache that Alolan Rattata has. It just kind of throws me off. I'm just like, why does this cute little creature have like a
mustache? Exactly what you're saying.
Mustache. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. I am not the biggest fan of Alolan Rattata either, so.
I like Alolan Raticate better than regular Raticate. It's just a big chunky boy.
Question. I was gonna see if you're more of the Faticate type, as it is as it is normally dubbed.
Yeah. Give me the Faticate any day. I love it.
Yeah, Faticate's also got a really good shine, because isn't it like kind of like a reddish color, or am I thinking of normal?
Yeah, no, it's like a maroon color. I think the normal Raticate shiny is just like a more orange shade of brown.
Probably. That could track. That tracks.
Yeah.
Like, Gen 1 shinies. They're...
It's rough, yeah. Well, I mean, those were the days when they were all decided by algorithm. Because it was just, that was the way that they did it for Gen 2. So none of these things were designed. It's just kind of like whatever it is, that's the algorithm. Except for, I think, Charizard. If I remember rightly, they cheated the code so that Charizard would be black.
That would not surprise me in the least. They did.
Game Freak does love Charizard.
Yeah, they sure do. Let me tell you, they most certainly do. The other thing is, like, some of the shinies kind of got changed. Like, I know Typhlosion, it was it had a different shiny in Gen 2 than what it does now with the flames.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, if you
I think it's just like a cinnamony sort of a shade on the back, isn't it?
Yeah, in Gen 2 though, it was more of a, like, the flames were more of like a purple color type deal, kind of more similar to like Hisuian Typhlosion.
I wonder if Hisuian Typhlosion's a reference in that case.
It very well might be. Very well.
That's kind of cool.
Also, I have no idea in this game if shinies, like, I know they sparkle, but I also don't know if they make any kind of noise.
I don't know if they make a noise. I know that they show up as their alternate color, though, so they're really hard to miss.
Well, we'll see, because Pidgey, if I remember correctly, Pidgey shiny isn't that different.
It's a little bit more yellow.
So
it's not really a crazy thing, so it is easy to miss unless you're looking real hard.
Unless you're a pro shiny hunter like Pewter City Gym, right?
Oh man, I wish. I think so. The only I've had two shinies in Scarlet and Violet. One of them was a hatch, and it was a Smoliv. And then I found a Kamala, and I just about missed it. The only reason I noticed it was because my Pokemon wouldn't take it out in auto mode, and I'm like, why aren't you killing this stupid koala? And then I noticed that the log is purple, and I'm like, wait, that's the shiny. It has a
purple log.
Log. Yeah,
it's why people speculate that Komala is not the Pokemon, but the log is, because that's what changes. Just as a big kind of meme. But at the same time, people would say the same thing about like the Tink line, the Tinkatink, Tinkatot, Tinkaton, whatever, all the Tinks. So, well, speaking of Tinks, I really shouldn't say that because it sounds weird. But what was your favorite new Pokemon that they introduced in Scarlet and Violet?
Fido.
Yeah?
Fido. Yeah, 100%. It was my favorite as soon as from Scarlet and Violet, literally as soon as I saw it. And nothing else that they introduced has changed my mind.
Yeah.
Again.
It's a good one.
It's literally just that perfect blend of you can tell what animal it's supposed to be, but it's not an animal, it's a Pokemon. You can't really see it as anything else, and I'm just like, I'm here for it, man. I love it as a design.
Yeah, back with the 7-star raids when they were first coming out, and Charizard was, the first one. There was a strategy using its evolution because it's like immune to fire moves.
Oxman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see that. The half-baked ability is just busted. I came upon it kind of by accident, actually. Like when my Fido evolved, I didn't check what the ability was. I assumed it would have the same ability as before. It did not, and I'm just like, oh wow, why did that fire move not affect it at all? Oh, that's a cool ability. So yeah, I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, it definitely is. So, do you like just overall like the Gen 9 Pokemon? Did you what's your stance on like just kind of like an overall take of the new mods?
So there are some that I really like. Fido, Skeledirge, the Reverum line I love.
Yeah.
I like a couple of them. Overall, I think the Dex is kind of mid.
Ooh.
I wouldn't say that it's bad. But there are several designs in there that they're not for me. And again, that's okay. Like, I'm not one of these people who's like, you have to cater everything to me or it's terrible. Yeah. I understand that my taste is not everybody's. So like, people who love the Gen 9 decks, more power to you. Absolutely. There are some fantastic designs in there, but overall for me, it didn't hit the way that I hoped it would.
Yeah, that, that's kind of fair. I actually think Gen 9's like decks, in my opinion, is like one of the stronger ones for what they've got.
Okay.
Like I enjoyed the amount of like Pokemon that they've got in there a lot. I think it's one of their more banger ones. With like Ceruledge, the Varoom line. I love Varoom. I made a joke about it because
me too.
I made sure to call my shiny one family with the whole like Fast and Furious reference, and I was like, got you. In my stream playthrough of Scarlet, I was like, all right, we got family, because I knew exactly which one I wanted to name it.
I mean, so you basically just soloed the rest of the game with family then, right?
Yeah, well,
nothing's more powerful than family.
True, except an Azumarill that I stumbled into that was much higher level. And I didn't know you could run from trainer battles, so he whopped my entire team and I lost the Nuzlocke.
Hold up. You can run from trainer battles?
Yep, you can run from trainer battles in that game.
Oh.
You'll throw money away, but it is something you can do.
Wow, you know what? That does make a massive amount of sense considering the open world nature and no level scaling. So if you come across someone who's towards the end of the game, then yeah, no point in letting them wallop you. But I had no idea that was a thing. So
yeah, I didn't either at the time where I'd have ran.
Wow.
Like it just popped out of nowhere, and there's like this Azumarill, and it's like, I can't remember if it belly drummed in my face or whatever, because it was like early on, because it was an area I hadn't played yet, because I didn't have my I hadn't played like Violet up to that point, because every time like a game comes out, I always play like the opposite version, just like a personal playthrough, and it popped up, and I'm like, oh, this is a cool new area I haven't been, let me explore it, and then the Azumarill will it did Azumarill things.
Belly drum. Yeah. Oh man, that's rough.
It sure was. So, but you live and you learn.
I think that's absolutely.
The first Nuzlocke I failed on stream.
Oh wow!
Second one. The first one was a game called why can I not remember what this game was called? Pokemon. There was Shadow Pokemon in it, and I cannot think for the life of me what it is.
Shadow Pokemon.
Was it Bushido? Pokemon Bushido.
Yeah.
Yes. That was the first Pokemon game I failed on a Nuzlocke. That one for sure was.
Got you. Mine was Uranium. It wasn't. I didn't stream it. It was just my first playthrough on the channel, and I got like 18 episodes in, and then it was a stupid Surf Ninja. That knocked out my entire team on a water route. So for the thumbnail, I just put a movie poster of stupid 1990s movie Surf Ninjas. So
nice.
It's just like, okay.
Yeah, Uranium was one of those games too that was like, really, it was buggy.
Yeah.
Pokemon experience wasn't working correctly in that game. Like, if I can't remember what the actual thing was. I can't remember if it's like if you defeated Fakemon, you didn't get like the full experience. But if you deleted like if you defeated like regular Pokemon, you did get the full experience, or maybe it's vice versa. I don't remember the exact one.
Got you.
But something like
I
that.
don't remember
happened.
that.
Yeah. And of course, you know, the game it got Nintendo'd, so it didn't get a chance to fix it. So that was
I happened to download it when it first came out. So like my version, I think, is like a super early version too.
Oh, time to hold on to it and sell it or something. I don't know. I really don't know what else you could do with it.
I want to play it again at some point. I'll try another Nuzlocke and put all the knowledge that I've gained since then into play.
That's the thing, right? Like when I first did a Nuzlocke, because my first Nuzlocke was somewhat on the channel. It was halfway on the channel because it was like a birthday stream. By the way, happy late birthday.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Unless your
that.
birthday is today, then happy birthday.
No, it was on the 24th, but thank you so much.
Yeah, the fun fact, by the way, before I get super distracted, even though I'm already going to be super distracted, I think for this entire event, like the Summer Splash event, there was like 6 people's birthday in August, including my own. So,
wow.
that.
Oh, well, happy birthday to you too, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Subhan,
of course.
I don't know why I can't think of words, but enjoy the rest of your day. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
So
absolutely. Good luck with getting those 7-star raids sorted out, man.
Yeah. They'd be fun. But see, this is what I was talking about when I was like, before I get distracted, then I'm like, I'm gonna get distracted anyways, because now I really don't remember what I was talking about.
We were talking about uranium, failed Nuzlocks.
Oh, failed Nuzlocks, that's it. So yeah, the first one, it was like a birthday stream, because at this point in time, I was very, very new, like in my streaming career. It was the first time doing a Pokemon playthrough on there. It was Pokemon Glowing Garnet, and I decided to make it a shiny lock. And I was doing it off stream, and then I was like, I was talking to the people like, and they're like, hey, would you like, I asked them, I was like, would you guys want to see me do this? Because at the time I was streaming a mobile game called Fate Grand Order, like the gacha addict I was back then.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of it. I've never played it.
Stay away. Gacha's evil. But, so people were like, yeah, play it. And I'm like, all right. So I played it, like, going into it. And I think I was like already at like 1 gem or something like that, 1 or 2 gems. It was still like early on. For it. So, but yeah, it was a fun time for me playing it.
That's actually pretty cool. I haven't even heard of that particular fan game.
Yeah, it's a who is it that makes it? Is it Ekanoid? I can't remember his name. I'd have to like go all the way back to, like 20, however old that was.
Right.
Early, like 2018, 2017, somewhere around in there. To see kind of like what it was, or see who the creator was for it. But it was a fun, like, there wasn't even really difficult. It was just Pokemon had custom shinies, trainers had custom like sprots type deal.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love custom shinies when people redesign the shiny, especially like we were talking about, the ones that we kind of decided by algorithm and got the short end of the stick. It's always cool to see somebody pick it up and be like, let's go ahead and redesign this, make it look a little cooler. I always enjoy that.
Yeah, I completely agree, especially because, exactly what you were saying. Like, the ones that were, like, algorithmic based, obviously are not going to look nearly as good. And even some that are not just algorithmic based also look bad. Looking at you, Mr. Garchomp. Which, I don't know if you've noticed.
Oh, my gosh.
Have you noticed Garchomp Shiny's been updated, like, constantly? Every game he gets a different color.
Yeah, and the one that they've settled on is not great.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll keep changing it though, to where it's like even darker blue.
I mean, honestly, give it the shiny Greninja palette, black, white, and red. Man, that would look clean.
It would. I'm surprised they don't just like do that for a lot of like the popular Pokemon, because like Greninja's got like that, Charizard's got like the black black colored shinies look always really good. I can't think of one shiny that's like not that doesn't have that color scheme. I'm like, man, this looks stupid.
Right? Yeah. 100%. No, that's the nail on the head right there. There are some color schemes and some color combinations. They're going to look cool no matter what you put them on, and that's one of them.
Yeah, and maybe one day it would be nice for Game Freak to just completely overhaul the shinies anyways, and like go, all right, let's take it back and just like kind of redo these, because some of them too, like Ponyta, for instance. I know Ponyta's shiny, or maybe it's Rapidash's shiny that's changed as well.
Yeah. That one I don't remember what it initially looked like. I know it's like white with blue flames now, and that's another thing. Anything that is like a fire type that has blue fire on it, just chef's kiss. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Peak.
It looks really good. Not enough of them have that though, unfortunately.
Yeah. What's your favorite shiny Pokemon?
So my favorite shiny Pokemon, probably, like, I get asked this and I like go back and forth, because like part of me wants to say Bulbasaur, because Bulbasaur is my favorite shiny, but grass starters get done so dirty every generation.
Oh, that's a controversial statement.
They're like barely different. Like Bulbasaur's like barely different, like color green. Trico barely different color green.
I like Chikorita, because it's got that kind of fall color palette, and I always love when grass types hit that kind of fall colors.
Yep, and Chikorita, there's two Pokemon that are an exception to this: Chikorita and Chespin. Other than that, they're all just like slightly different color greens. Chespin's like more of an autumnish color as well. Same thing for Chikorita.
Trico looks pretty cool. Trico is more of like a cyan kind of a blue green combo, or more teal, I guess. Yeah, I kind of like that too.
Yeah, but like I accept it, because I know that that's what the shiny like green tops are going to look like, or grass tops. So, and I don't hate it to begin with. But I think if I'd have to say my favorite shiny Pokemon, it might be Umbreon.
Okay, simple.
It is simple, but like the blue rings just look so good. And fun fact, Coliseum Umbreon shiny is actually different. Where its rings are not blue, they're rainbow colored, and they will flash.
Oh, that's cool.
So
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
My favorite shiny Pokemon is Nurse Joy.
Oh my gosh. I saw recently in a video thumbnail, I didn't click on the video, but I have it saved for later. Somebody did inversions of shiny Pokemon, and Umbreon is like white with orange rings, and it actually looks really clean.
I can see that. I actually saw that same video thumbnail, and I didn't click on it because I was busy at work.
Got you. No, I tapped on it, and I liked it, so I can check it out in my history later, because I want to see what else they come up with, because that's an awesome. Yeah, that was really attention grabbing.
Is something I'm surprised no one else has really thought of. I hadn't thought about it until I saw it, because like it's such a simple idea, but it's so cool to be like to see like what actually is happening with them.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Like Charizard, for instance, it's got a really good shiny. I'd be very interested to see what the shiny version of Charizard looks like inverted.
Oh dang, yeah, it would be like white and like a light blue. Oh, that I'm gonna do that later.
You're gonna go just open up Photoshop and invert it.
Yeah, just invert it. Just
I guess you could. Photoshop does have an invert button. So
it sure does. Yeah, absolutely. My favorite shiny is Politoed.
Politoed's got a good one. I have a shiny Poliwhirl. I'll tell the story about my Poliwhirl here. So my first time like actually shiny hunting was and I've told this story before. It was a Carvana. It wasn't like me actually trying to shiny hunt a Carvana. It was the first shiny Pokemon I ever encountered. And Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, or Emerald. I can't remember which game it was. And it knocked itself out to a takedown. I got it down to 1 HP like an idiot with false swap, because I was like, oh, I want to weaken it to make sure I could catch it. You know, I could have just yeeted a Master Ball at it, because I had a Master Ball. You know, action replay. And no, I didn't decide to do that. Instead, I was like 1 HP, bam, and then it knocks itself out.
You swirled your cap backwards and were like a real Pokemon master. Never
exactly. And then I'm like, oh, this was a mistake. This was 100% a mistake. But after that, I never shiny hunted again. The next shiny Pokemon I ended up finding after that was, let me think. It was the next time I started shiny hunt was in X and Y, because of the Friend Safari that was there.
Friend Safari and Shiny Charm.
Yep, and I was like, I want a shiny Frogadier. Well, shiny Greninja, because again, it looks good, and you could find Frogadier. So I remember looking for a Frogadier, and the first shiny I got next to him was a shiny Poliwhirl. And I was like, man, that kind of stinks because I really wanted a Greninja and I probably just burned all my luck. Literally, I took a step to the right, and it's such a vivid memory just because of how it is. But I took one step to the right and got another Pokemon. I was really mad because I was like, dang it, I wanted to try to not run into a Pokemon here. And it was a shiny Frogadier. So I got 2 shinies like back to back.
That's amazing.
It is, and I still have that Poliwhirl in my PC. I also have a shiny Greninja, but I don't know what I wanted to evolve my Poliwhirl into, because normally what I like to do is I like to keep forms the way they are until I know for sure I can get like the full thing. Like for instance, Charmander. I had 3 Charmanders that I just sat on for a long time just to make sure that, like, you know, if I needed to, I guess a better example is like I had like 1 Rhyhorn and a Rhyperior shiny, and I still haven't evolved the Rhyhorn shiny because it's like, if I find another shiny Rhyhorn, I can always evolve it to a Rhydon, right? If I find a shiny Rhydon, then I'll end up being stuck with 2 Rhydons, and I can't unevolve the Rhydon. So
no, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I try to keep everything at like the base form of whatever I catch it with as low as possible. Because you know,
I get that actually.
Yeah, I would hate to evolve it to a Poliwhirl, and then for some reason I find like a shiny Poliwrath. Which, to be fair, I think this is the only game you can find Poliwrath in the wild. So
for a while anyway.
Yeah, I don't think that's too much of an issue that I would have to worry about. But
it's kind of funny, that story, because like the community days that they had recently was like Poliwag and then Froakie right after that. So it was like, it's kind of like they're copying your shiny chain.
It is. I was not able to do Poliwag. I did do Froakies and got like a couple more so I could finish off the Froakie line. Ended up with I think it was like 5 or 6, which is more than what I needed. Obviously, I only needed 2. But I'm like, you know, if they ever decide to do this Hisuian type thing again, that way I've got, you know, an extra like Froakie if they ever decide to put Froakie in one of them. Yeah.
So, oh yeah, for sure.
Speaking of Hisui, did you play Legends Arceus?
Oh yeah, I did a Let's Play.
I thought you did.
On the channel actually, yeah.
Did you? What did you think? Did you like Legends Arceus?
I loved it.
I'm so glad
definitely the highlight of Generation 8 for me. I did enjoy Sword and Shield, don't get me wrong, but I think the new stuff that they did with Legends Arceus, I just wish that they'd carried some of it over to Scarlet and Violet. The catching mechanic, you know, being able to just sneak up behind Pokemon and throw a Pokeball at it. You know, the emphasis on filling out your decks and completing different dex challenges. I loved that so much. Yeah, no, it's easily my highlight of Generation 8.
So I would 100% agree on like all those points. I love I love Legends Arceus. For a while, I was kind of torn on like what my favorite game is. At this point, I'd have to say it's Legends Arceus because of like everything they ended up doing with it. Like the fighting probably needed to be a little reworked because it's very much like Revengey in a way. Because you can, you know, knock out a Pokemon and then it's like, oh, hey, here comes this new Pokemon that's going to like knock you out and then it's going to get to go like 2 more times. But I still love that they tried something new with it. And it made for in my opinion, like way better of like a system.
And I think really challenging.
Yeah, and I think with a little bit of tweaks, they could really perfect that system. And
talk
about challenging. Actually. It is challenging.
Oh yeah. No, you show up on the scene and suddenly it's like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and fight this Zubat. And you don't realize that, you know, his buddy, the Golbat, and their friend, the, you know, whatever else is hiding around the corner. You didn't see them there. Suddenly it's a 1-on-3 battle. They're all faster than you. One of them is a higher level. They're going to poison you and they can do multiple status effects at the same time. So it's just like, oh man, so easy to get accidentally wiped out.
Yep. Paris. Never have I ever feared a Paris. Until that game.
Yeah.
When Paris showed up and you're like, oh, it's a Paris. What's a Paris going to do? And then it's like, hey, welcome. My first death in that game was a Paris.
I think my first death in that game was jumping into the river.
Yep. Same.
Paris was ridiculous. Paris was just like, I don't understand where, you know, this 1-foot-tall mushroom bug got the guts to just charge up and attack a person, but there it is.
Sure enough, there it is. Yeah. The also just to talk about like the Pokedex stuff, I love that. To me, like filling out the Pokedex, like I always do full like living dexes every game anyways, because I really enjoy that type of thing. So like
Yeah.
to actually have a purpose and a reason for it, it's so nice.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and I loved all the additional rewards you got for doing, just simple stuff like catch a certain number of extra larges, do a certain number of back strikes, and you got additional rewards and stuff for that. I loved it. I thought it was really amazing.
Yeah.
I wish that they'd kept stuff like that into the newer games. I really do.
So do you hope that the next game, or the next like, I guess remake essentially, do you hope that there's another like Legends game? Because I really do. I would love a Legends Kyurem type deal.
I would love that too. I don't know if they would do. Well, I guess they did like Gen 4, and then Sinnoh is kind of or Hisui is Sinnoh, so they might do like remakes of Gen 5 and then a Legends Kyurem game or something like that too. I don't know.
I would much rather them just make a Legends game instead of the normal like type of remake, because I know a lot of people weren't big fans of BDSP. And I actually
really liked BDSP. I know I'm in the minority there. I enjoyed it for what it was, right? Because for a while, Pearl was like my home game. Even after Gen 5 came out, I found myself gravitating towards Pearl a lot more. I don't know what it is. There's just something about Sinnoh that I enjoy. So I enjoyed BDSP for what it was. I really do wish that they'd done more with it, but at the end of the day, I had a lot of fun with it anyway.
When I did my original playthrough and stuff, I enjoyed it as well. Kind of similar. Like I'm also of one of these people that's very positive on a lot of things. Like I'm not afraid to like say like, hey, there's problems with this, right? Like I'm not afraid to say that. But I normally quite enjoy Pokemon games because they're relaxing to me. They're like getaway type deal. Also 69 Ultra Balls, nice.
Nice.
I'm literally throwing so hard. This Pidgey is literally gonna run. I'm gonna run away before I catch combo. But the problem I had with BDSP is it was $60 and it was pretty much just Dominant Pearl, and I wish they had done more with it. Not even like to the extent of like Platinum, but I really think Oras was really good in terms of a remake. Yeah. Just because of like what they changed, and I was
Oras and Heart Gold Soul Silver were fantastic remakes, both sets.
Yep, and I feel like BDSP just is lacking in that aspect of it. So
it was entirely too faithful. I 100% agree with that. But again, as someone who loved Pearl a lot, it's just, it was like you said, it was a relaxing time for me. It kind of felt like, this is going to sound super cheesy, but it kind of felt like coming home after a long absence. Yeah. It was just easy to slip back into it. I remembered where a lot of stuff was. I remembered where a lot of the NPCs were. It was just a nice time. Yeah. I didn't need it to reinvent Gen 4 for me. It was fine as it was for me.
Yeah, I mean, Legends Arceus reinvented it for you.
Oh, exactly, 100%. Yeah, and I think that kind of softened the blow a little bit as well. It's like, if I did get bored with it, hey, I have this other amazing game to go play. So, yeah,
Absolutely. So we just out of curiosity, because we asked about my favorite. Well, I can't remember if we asked about my favorite, but I've already said it's Legends Arceus. What is your favorite like actual Pokemon game? Is it Pokemon Pearl?
Man, why are you asking me to pick
look, I said I was like, I'm gonna ask you some hard ones. Actually, I didn't say that, but I'm gonna ask you some hard ones. So now I said it.
Man, there's so many different ways that I could answer this because I've loved so many Pokemon games and I like them all for different reasons. Probably, you know what? Why? Pokemon Y.
Y is a good one.
Even though Kalos has exactly 7 new Pokemon.
Yeah, it does. It does have some good ones though.
Yeah, it's a smaller set of monsters, but I think overall that led to so many of them being very, very strong designs, in my opinion. I can't really think of any that I dislike. Now, keep in mind that I do have a proclivity towards object-based Pokemon, so I know a lot of people are like, yeah, Klefki's awful. I actually like Klefki. But yeah, to me, there were just so many strong designs in that generation, and I think that came from it being a smaller Pokedex because there was not a drive to fill in as many slots as possible. It knew what it wanted to be. The region was beautiful. I did enjoy the interaction with the other characters. I kind of wish that your rivals had more personality, I guess. They had their own personalities, but they never really factored too much into the gameplay, to clarify. But yeah, I think probably overall that's the game that I've had the most fun playing.
So, just to talk about X and Y, I actually do really love X and Y for what they are. And I know they get a lot of flack, especially now, just because Pokemon community is very toxic to begin with.
It can be. It's kind of funny. Like, remember a couple years ago, like Gen 5 was just getting
hated
trashed left, right, and center, and now everybody's like Legends Kyurem, Gen 5 remakes, Gen
Best
5 was
game
so
ever.
great.
Yep.
Yeah. So like the Pokemon community can be unforgiving, but they tend to come around with time and nostalgia.
Yep, that's absolutely what it is, and that's what I was getting with. Like, I still think very fondly with X and Y. The biggest problem I have with it is some of the stuff. The game is very easy. It's probably, in my opinion, it's the easiest Pokemon game over Let's Go.
It's the start of things becoming very, very hand-holdy.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think a big part of that has to do with the success of the 3DS.
Probably.
Because the 3DS was at the time like so well received. It was, the console that everybody was buying, and with that comes a lot of younger players. And so I think X and Y was kind of like, well, we have a lot of new potential Pokemon fans. Let's make sure that they feel comfortable here, and I can get behind that. I don't care for handholdy games, but it's not all about me,
Yeah. And I can kind of agree. Obviously, Pokemon players, if they want to challenge, they're going to find a way to make it challenging. That's why Nuzlocke exists.
Exactly, 100%.
The only other complaint I've got with X and Y is I hated the rivals, but I only hated the rivals because how handholdy they were, and how they really, like what you were saying, they don't really matter in the story at all. You literally can remove them and they'd be like, you didn't really miss anything with them.
Yeah. Well, and the stupid thing about it, Gil, is that they had so much potential too. So like Trevor's obsession with filling in the Pokedex, tie that back to what we were talking about with the Hisui Pokedex, right? If he was someone who dispensed challenges to you, and was like, oh, I've caught, 50 extra large Bidoofs. Why don't you go and do that if you can? I've got something for you. And then Tierno and his fixation on, creating a Pokemon dance team. Like, well, why didn't we have contests that took advantage of that? And he could be our rival in that regard. So you had the building blocks for something that could have been really unique and cool. And then they were just like, I'd rather not.
Yeah. Yep, that's 100% what it was. And like I said, it does suck that that's happened. And I feel like there was a lot of stuff that was cut too. The big thing is like the power plant back that everybody wanted to go to. Like, people were like, oh, we're definitely going there for Z. And Z never came about, which a lot of people.
I don't even know if they were planning Z. Like, I would like to think that they were, but and maybe it was just like, oh no, we got to get onto Alola. Like, we don't have time to, because there's still a small team for whatever reason. I don't get it, but
yeah, they are very small, and it doesn't help that they divided up into 2 teams. I think at this point it's confirmed Z was in progress, but it got scrapped because they wanted to make a game and they started a new initiative. I think it was called like the Gear Initiative or something like that. I can't remember what the name of it is, where they were trying to make a new franchise as just as successful as Pokemon. And because they didn't, and it's in a way it's smart, right? Like, you don't want all your eggs in one basket. It's just one thing that you really don't want to do. And they were using this project as a way of getting new people, like their new devs, a chance to be like, hey, do you guys want to make a game? Here you go, pitch the idea. And, it could come. That's why Little Town Hero was a result of that. Unfortunately, that game flopped hugely.
So Misty had been looking forward to that one, and she got it and was just super underwhelmed. And the other one was, God, what was the other one that they did? Was it Dragon Cafe? Something along those lines. There there was another Game Freak game that, yeah, my wife was super like, oh yeah, I'm going to try it out. And then, 25, 30 hours in, she was just like, it's cute, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
I get what you mean about not having all your eggs in one basket, but then again, when your basket is Pokemon, I feel like you can fit a lot of eggs in there.
Yeah, the number one like franchise in the world. Yeah, I don't think you're too worried about it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but but then again, as someone who likes to, be involved in like the creative process and stuff, I also get why, the development team probably wants a break from Pokemon too. So, I get it from like multiple standpoints, but to me, it's just like, yeah, again, and it comes down to wasted potential. Like if we had have gotten Z version, there is a lot more stuff that they could have done to flesh the region out, and I feel like that's just such a waste that we didn't get to experience that.
Yeah. So, which in a way, I'm kind of glad they didn't. There's two like sides to it, right? Like, I wanted them to have Z because I feel like they could, because the third versions have always been like the ultimate version. Like, you go back, even with the exception of Yellow, I guess. Yellow is kind of like the oddity out because it was just pretty much red and blue, except you got like all the starters. But like Crystal, you got like the same game essentially. It was just everything was better. Same thing for Emerald. It built upon the story of it.
Emerald was so good.
It was. Platinum, same thing. And you've got, the whole deal
the distortion world. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love to go back there. I would love it if... and I'm kind of bummed that they didn't do Platinum for the basis of BDSP, just because it would have been so amazing to experience more of the distortion world, flesh it out, maybe even like they did with the underground habitats and stuff like that, just make it more of its own place. I feel like that would have been incredible.
I agree, and I think that's why a lot of people also didn't like BDSP, is like, because while Diamond and Pearl are great, Platinum is the game engine for
so much better.
It just is like, hey, here's Diamond and Pearl, and here's Diamond and Pearl, except it's called Platinum, and everything is just better. Cyrus is more fleshed out, a whole new world's there. HP bars are kind of fixed. To where they don't take 50 years. They only take 49 years now.
You knock out that Blissey and you can go make yourself a sandwich, grab something to drink. Yeah, come back, read the newspaper. Oh, there we go. We've hit 0 HP. Perfect.
Yep. And, the whole no zero fire types. But yeah,
yeah.
But yeah, I would have loved an X and Y remake, or not remake, but like a third game. But at the same time, it's like, it is kind of annoying to keep paying $60 for essentially a game that you already do own. Even if that version is... I get that. Well, I guess at the time it's what, $40 or $50? I can't remember how much the previous games cost. It's one of those two.
They were about $40 for the most part, yeah.
But then you get the trade-off of like Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield. It's like, well, there's no more third versions, but there is DLC, so...
Yeah, which, people are kind of divided on that. I prefer it, honestly. So like I mentioned that I spent a lot of time playing Pearl. Of course, I did get Platinum and I loved Platinum, but like I'd already invested, hundreds and hundreds of hours into Pearl, so it was difficult for me to want to, switch everything over to the new version. I kind of like with the DLC because, it's the same adventure that I've been having. All my Pokemon are there, but I get to do something new in the same insular sort of environment. So, I like that a lot more.
Yeah, I agree. I'm more of a fan of DLC now than what I was at the beginning, because I was worried of how they were going to handle it for it. And Sword and Shield's DLC was alright. I do think Sword and Shield's DLC the areas were better than the main game.
How they
handled
Isle of Armor.
Yeah,
Isle of Armor is so beautiful.
That and Crown Tundra, like both of them. Like I did some Sword and Shield. I've actually played a lot of Sword and Shield, like through this entire event, and they were really, really fun to, and kind of nice to go back to. And I really have more expectations for Scarlet and Violet, because now it's like, all right, this isn't their first DLC. Let's see how well they can actually implement it.
Oh God, I hope that they do a really good job. Knock on wood.
Yeah, I think they will. I guess DLC is kind of like the third version of the total price. You don't have to restart from the beginning. Yeah, pretty much nowadays, because I think the DLC is like $35.
Yeah, something like that.
So, it is slightly cheaper than the third version, and you don't have to start over. But, and especially like, because the DLC for Sword and Shield, there wasn't any real story tie-in. Like it's obviously there. Like it's its own contained thing. Obviously for Scarlet and Violet, they're taking a much different approach with the going back to Area Zero, which I'm kind of, in a way, it's kind of annoying and not annoying at the same time, because like if you own the DLC, you're gonna get to experience the full story, right? Like you're gonna get to see whatever the Area Zero stuff is.
Yeah.
But it kind of sucks for the people that don't own Sword and Shields or Scarlet and Violet's DLC, because it's like they're not really going to get to experience like the conclusion of like what actually is happening in Area Zero.
Exactly. And I think that is such a big selling point for people who are actually invested in the story, which, you know, I mean, a lot of people don't care too much about the story in Pokemon games. I love it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, whenever story's kind of disappointing, I'm always left more disappointed in the game than you know, if it's not. Oh, here we go. Pretty evolution screen.
Yep. Pretty evolution of me pressing B. I'll let this one evolve.
Okay.
We'll let this one, so chat and everybody can see it. I forgot how nice this actually does look for an evolution
Look at
screen.
that. Look at those colors.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Man. Would you rather them make another Let's Go game or another Legends game? Like if they were going to do the...
Oh, Legends.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So I enjoyed Let's Go. We sort of talked about that a little bit already, but Legends I absolutely loved. So yeah, no, I would 100% rather that they make another Legends game versus another Let's Go game if it's a choice. I'd sooner have both.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Maybe let's go to Johto. It's coming sometime.
Yeah, I was gonna say, which region would you want to see a Let's Go game set in if they do another one?
Honestly, probably Johto.
Yeah.
Like just kind of go back and revisit it, because like, yeah, technically you do see Johto in 3D. But it's not like real 3D, and I think it would be really interesting to see how they would handle that.
Yeah.
Just with everything that's going on.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And I hope they can improve on it. Like, I think if they can, because I do think they're trying to get away a little bit from the motion controls, a little bit, which is why I think Legends Arceus didn't use motion controls. I think that's one reason why they did that. If they essentially just kind of implemented a similar system to that and just was like, hey, here you go. Or even give the option of like, hey, you can use motion controls or you don't have to use motion controls. I think that would be, you know.
Yeah, I like that. Having the option is always best.
Yeah, the more accessibility always wins. Right? So,
oh, yeah, 100%.
But yeah, what about you? Would it be Johto as well?
It would probably be Hoenn, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. I like the varied environments of Hoenn, and I would love to see that done in the Let's Go style. Because they're like we were talking about, they're beautiful games. So if you sort of think about, like, you know, you have those kind of marshy, rainforesty areas. You've got the routes are a little bit different in terms of like color palette and stuff like that to what they were in other games around the same time. You have, you know, crazy stuff like the city in the trees, the city on the floating logs. You know, all of that stuff would be amazing to see done in the Let's Go style. I'd like to see them reduce the amount of surfing that you have to do, if anything. But yeah,
as always.
Yeah, because there was a lot, like way too much.
Yeah, 7 out of 10, too much water.
Yeah, they'd have to rename it Let's Catch Tentacool.
Yeah, yep. Fun fact for Hoenn, when I was doing, I think, Emerald, or maybe it was Sapphire, or maybe I'm completely wrong and I'm just misremembering this. The last Pokemon I needed was a Tentacool.
Really?
Yeah. Somehow I managed to go through the entire game without catching a Tentacool. Or seeing a Tentacool, I guess, at that point. Don't know how
seeing a Tentacool. Wow.
Yeah.
You're like you're the surf king. You're the real surf ninja, because you managed to avoid all of the tentacles.
Yeah, I got stuck with a bunch of other things. Did you ever try to get the Feebas in like any of the games?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I messed around with the because if I remember correctly, it was dependent on your trendy phrase. So I messed around with the trendy phase. Like, this was like in the early days of the internet, so I think I looked up online, you know, ways to kind of manipulate it so that your trendy phrase put your 6 squares that you could get Feebas in a more agreeable spot. And I did eventually get one.
Nice.
Yeah, so I still have it in my Pokemon home, actually. I don't think I ever evolved it. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, it was always too tricky. I don't remember if it was trendy phrase in Gen 3. I think it was just your player ID. I know it was easier to do in Gen 4.
Might have been that. Yeah.
Because I think in Gen 3 it was like 4 squares and that's it. Gen 3 it was 4 squares and Gen 4 it was...
Okay, I must be misremembering. Maybe it was something else then. I know that I spent a lot of time messing around with my trendy phrase because it did something in the game.
I mean, it also could be that I'm just wrong.
Was like back, this was like back in 2000, like literally 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly right. I don't have the memory for that. So I never managed to get a
for breakfast.
So I did in BDSP though. Start searching for it, and because it's got the same odds in BDSP as it does in Diamond and Pearl. And I did manage to find one there on stream.
Oh, cool.
And that was really cool.
Yeah.
Because I actually like Melodic quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely one of my favorite Gen 3 designs. That Dex is one of my favorites, too.
It's a good one. It most certainly is a good one. Just in general. What's your favorite region? Like...
Probably Kalos.
Kalos? Yeah, the Kalos is a very nice region. I think I like Johto as a region myself, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Gen 2 games.
So for me with Kalos, you just have so many different looking areas. Like they really went all out there. Like, well, we have, better graphical capabilities now. So let's go ahead and just like, push this poor little system to its limits. So you had so many amazing looking areas, even for like, that kind of jagged 3D-esque kind of style.
Yeah, exactly.
It just looks so pretty. So yeah, definitely that would be my favorite region. But no, man, Johto respect. I absolutely love it. It was one of the originals, so...
Yeah, like I just think of like how nice like some of the stuff like could look. Like you think of Ekritique, you think of like Olivon, like how pretty that would actually look in like a real environment type deal. And like I said, while Gen 2 is most certainly not my favorite game because of a lot of weird things that go on.
Weird
in that
balancing issues.
There's that.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact, most of the Gen 2 Pokemon you can't find in Gen 2. You can find them in Gen 2, but they're all in Kanto's side.
Yeah. There's so many of them that are like that. It's just like, and they're all cool ones too, like Houndour. Like, why is that only in Kanto?
Yeah, Murkrow's another one. Man. A lot of the ones that you can find in, Johto, there's like a 5% chance. Like, I think Quillfish and Remoraid, you can find them in like one area, in two separate areas. Like, one of them's like a bridge area, and it's like less than a 5% chance of finding it. And you're like, all right.
Yeah. So. Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, it was, I think, ironically, my favorite thing about the Johto games is that you can go back to Kanto, which feels, it feels amazing to have like 8 badges and just be like, all right, boys. Let's move out. We got another 8 badges to get.
There is nothing cooler than when you were first playing that game. Was your first Pokemon game Red and Blue, by chance?
Yeah, it was Blue version.
Okay, yeah, same. Blue team over here, even though you picked the wrong starter.
No,
but yeah, like I remember playing through Blue, obviously beating it a lot. And when Gold and Silver came out, I'm like, I got to get these games. So I ended up getting Silver. And I remember getting all 8 badges, and they're like, hey, you can go to Kanto. And I'm like, what? Did you say I can go to Kanto?
I know, right?
And then you're like, you do all the Kanto stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, there's a world boss that you can fight. And then it's like your character from like Gen 1, Red.
Exactly, exactly.
You're just like, this is the coolest thing ever.
I always thought it would be neat if and the technology for this I don't think existed at the time, but like my brain at the time didn't have any sort of concept of what was and wasn't possible. But I was like, what if they took the save data from your red, blue, or yellow version and they took your first Hall of Fame team, and that's the team that Red has when you fight them? Like, how amazing would that be?
But
oh yes,
like. Obviously, I don't think the technology was there back then, but it was so...
I definitely don't think so.
It would have been so cool. Like,
oh gosh, yeah.
Do you remember your first team? Like your first Hall of Fame team?
Oh yeah, I remember it. It was my Charizard. It was Nidoking. I had a Butterfree. I had a Sandslash. I had a Dragonite, and I had a Raichu.
Ooh, so mine was Pidgeot, Venusaur. Zapdos, Raichu,
Nice.
Rhydon, and
Yeah.
who was the last one? I want to say it was Hitmonchan. I think that's 6.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that would have rounded out the team fairly nicely. Yeah.
Well, it's rounded as like my Gen 1 brain, you know.
Sure.
My younger self could let go.
Yeah,
You know?
none of us were experts at that point. It was, you know, it was a new field.
It sure was, but you know, it was great. And after that, don't ask me for any other Hall of Famers because I don't know. Maybe I could remember my Gen 2 one, but.
Did you ever do a lot of like link battles with your Gen 1 team or no?
No. Well, I did some because my brother got red because my parents obviously got that. But my brother was never like super big into it. Like he's younger than I am, and he never really got into like Super Pokemon like what I did.
Yeah.
And so like we did for a little bit, but it wasn't a huge lot. I think a lot of it came to him losing a lot. Win it. So like I would always win and he would eventually just kind of quit playing.
Gotcha,
Gen 2 there was like none of that. Like he was already done at that point. And I'm like over here like I need this so much.
No.
So.
It was pretty cool at the time because like all my friends played, so we would have like these massive, like, you know, we would stay over at like someone's house for like the weekend and it was just all Pokemon battles all the time. Yeah, it was awesome.
That would have been the life. That would have absolutely been the life.
It was. I miss those times, man. Simpler days.
It really was like a lot simpler. Like that TCG. I remember I did go over to a friend's house to play the TCG sometimes.
Oh, that's cool. I never got into the TCG. The cards were kind of expensive in New Zealand, to be honest with you. Like, it was difficult to find them. They were always, like, marked way the heck up. And then you would get places that would sell the cards, like, individually for, like, 50 cents a pop. And I bought a bunch of those. I found them semi-recently. And, like, the number of those cards that are just, like, badly reproduced fakes. It's unreal. At some point I want to do a video just showing them off. It's just, you know, this is what my child brain thought was cool back in 1998.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And I remember I got one Pokemon card and I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something and I traded it for like this holographic Magnemite, or not Magnemite, Magneton. And it was someone in my neighborhood, and then my mom looked at it, and she's like, you know this is a sticker, right? Like, after I already done the trade. And sure enough, you could just peel it off. I'm like, I can't believe that. I was suckered into it. I was really upset at that time.
Wow. So, yeah. No, I would be too, man. That sucks.
Yeah, it does. I can't remember what the Pokemon was, but it does. It does suck. So I do wish I would have kept all my TCG from, like, when I was a kid. I remember...
It's kind of funny. Oh, sorry. You go.
I was about to say, I remember selling them at a flea market, and it was before my brain could really comprehend, because it's like, oh, I was gonna sell these for like a number, right? Like whatever the number is, and I remember selling them for like $1, and it was like all of them because I couldn't math mine. Maybe it was like $10 is what I got from it. So
one of my managers, well, it doesn't work with me anymore, but it was kind of funny. He was showing me like his old Pokemon cards, and that he'd just literally he found the binder, gave it to his nephew because his nephew collects the more current series. He had a holographic Charizard in that binder. And when I pointed out to him, like, oh man, you know, you could have sold that for a lot of money. He's just like, nah, you know, I don't really care. Let my nephew have it. And I'm just like, man, you should adopt me.
yeah. Especially because if it was like the first edition Charizard, it would have.
This was stuff that he bought back in like his middle school days, back in the late 90s.
Man, I had one of those Charizard. I feel like everybody did, but you know, that.
Oh man.
Lesson learned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you keep those things because you never know if they would sell. That's actually a thing I really wish I'd have done just in general. Like all of my Game Boy games and stuff like that. I wish I'd have kept them. Too. Especially because like Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, like in the box and stuff, are expensive. Actually, all the Pokemon games are. I don't know if you've looked to see like Gen 4 and Gen 5, but
I haven't looked. No, that's kind of interesting. I tend to throw my cases away. Like I'll get like a game case and I'll put the cartridge in there, and then I just toss the packaging because I have so many games and not enough room to store them, and I don't like to have a cluttered space. So I tend to throw the boxes and stuff away, but yeah, it's like, well, that definitely reduces the value if I ever were to resell them, but I don't think that I would. It's just such an integral part of who I am. It's just like I don't really ever see myself parting with most of these.
Yeah, I wouldn't future me, like current me, I guess, if I could tell past me like, hey, hold on to these, it wouldn't be to sell, it just so that way I could collect them and keep them collected. Because I have thought about like trying to recollect the games, but they're just so expensive to recollect.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, for sure.
So, very, very much so. The game CIV is not cheap to resell. Yeah.
Nope.
It is unfortunate because, like I said, I would love to collect all that stuff. Same thing for my Game Boy Color, like N64. I wish I'd have held on to all those.
Yeah, I never had the N64, but my wife did. She still has that, and several of the games for it. But we would have to get like a converter thing for our TV because it doesn't have the
it doesn't have
connections.
it doesn't have like analog.
Nope.
Or composite,
Nope.
I guess is what it really was. Remember when you had to turn your TV to channel 3 to see a video game?
Oh yeah, Sega Genesis, man. I remember having to literally sit there and fine-tune the TV so that the picture wouldn't jump up and down.
Yep. So, well, we are right at 6 o'clock here. So, Jim, thank you so much for hanging out.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
Yeah, we definitely. I definitely want to do this again at some point. Rattata's going to attack me, of course.
Oh no! Don't do it, Rattata.
Yeah, exactly. But
please, he has a family.
Well, this Rattata's about to not have a family. I'll take this Pidgey to him. But
I'm sorry that you didn't get your shiny, man.
Oh, don't worry. I expected it. It was, like I said, either good or bad. It is what it is. But like I said, I definitely want to do this again. For anyone that's tuning in,
please.
of course, make sure, again, please go check out Jim's stuff. He's got a lot of good stuff coming on. Do you want to say what your schedule is for the rest of, well, I guess the start of next week?
Yeah, so well, tomorrow I actually have 3 videos coming out. I got a fan game Friday for Pokemon Xenoverse. I got the next Solar Region video, which is my Fakemon series, region based on Southern California. And then in the evening I got another episode of I was about to say Xenoverse again. Digimon Sleuth. Oh man,
Cyber
I
Sleuth?
can't word setting. Yeah, there you go. That's the one. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth.
Yeah, there you go. Words are hard.
There we go.
Trust me, as someone who streams, when you start streaming, words don't exist. You just mumble and hope you get it right. So
that sounds about right.
But
well,
yeah.
Thank you so much again.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a lot of fun. And chat, again, please go check them out. Like I said, Jim, we've known each other for probably well over a year now at this point. And
oh yeah, I think you found my channel when I just started doing Pokemon Insurgents, which was like almost 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, probably, because it was like I met you, Leaf, and Socks all around at the same time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, please go check them out. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go eat dinner. Jim, again, thank you so much. And chat, we will see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Take care. Bye.